Hello, and welcome to today's p+log. Um, Update. Turns out I'm not done being sick, and it turns out being sick starts way before you feel the symptoms. Wow! Okay, well, that's the update. As for other things, I wanted to share where I'm at with my Plan A Plus portfolio. Did I say that I was making one? Okay, I did say that I was doing something. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna show you both the current, and I say current because I know myself, maybe a new idea will come, but I did put a lot of work into this logo design, so I doubt it would happen, but nothing is off the table. Nothing is immune. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and show you why I'm saying I'm saying. So, let me just flip this. Hold on. Yeah, not yet, not that far yet. I want to show you where we were before. So before we finished with this logo, then I said, I like that logo better. And then I was like, this is a little too feminine. And I'm not helping all girls. So, let's do something like that. So that was the concept, making it look more like a file. Because that's where it even came from. Plan A is the opposite of Plan B. And yeah, so I wanted to put that there. But I wanted to move it where it looked a little natural, like that. But I had to do all this. And it doesn't look bad, but when you realize that I don't have those Adobe programs where you could just lift an image and just put it on top of, it's difficult. So I had to eyeball it. Well, first I used that image you saw where it was kind of cut. So I got to see where the yellow lined up and the orange lined up because those were the only ones that were there. Actually, why am I doing this? Oh, we have a touch screen. So, sorry. So yeah, I did that. Then I guess I cleaned it up. What's the difference? I don't know what's the difference between this. I have no idea what the difference is. Well, I guess I was just showing my process. Okay. So it was there, which is the same as above. Then I did an overlap. Then I took the above lettering and I pasted it. So I used the freeform cutting and I tried to do as best as I can to overlap these letters to that. And I wasn't perfect, but I got an idea so that I could just fill it in, which I did here, as well as cleaned up the rest of the letters. And then from there, I just took this thing, and I didn't do the whole thing because this was a really jagged line. So I took this part so that the information that was a lot of work to do would be there, and I would just use the outline of the logo to place it on there, and I lined it up there. So this is the finished product, of course, as you saw. And that's where I'm at today. But yeah, I wanted to share where I'm at with my portfolio. I can also even share my philosophy statement, mission statement, vision statement. My dad said it's good, so I'm keeping it. I did pick a soft black just because I learned with app interface. I don't remember if it was on Skillshare or if it was on one of the YouTube videos, but having either a soft black or a softer white is better for the eyes. It's easier on the eyes than a stark black and a stark white when you're on screen. So that's kind of what I want to do for the website. I want to keep it pretty soft. My mom just got home from work. Okay, she's talking to Nixon still. So yes, My philosophy statement. I said philosophy. As stewards of education, we believe education. Oh, it sounds funny. We believe education is. Look what I cut. We believe education is a serendipitous endeavor as an authentic, transformative service in the name of Jesus Christ. Mission. Presenting knowledge as an integrated whole. Yes, Mom? Hi. Welcome home. Okay, she just said hi, I guess. So, presenting knowledge as an integrated whole, our mission is to provide a multidimensional understanding that will develop the whole child in an environment that nurtures curiosity through guided learning, which leads into authentic, inspired living. I think I want to put God-inspired living. I don't know if that's like too religious. Well, oh gosh, I'm gonna be turning so many non-believers away unless they just like my voice. I'm just kidding. But yeah, vision. Through our Christ-centered education services, we aspire to reform education through curriculum and instruction as a path to a transformative life of truth. Okay? So I read that while I was thinking about being a Christian entrepreneur, and I wasn't paying attention to the grammar. Let me read it again. Through our Christ-centered education services, we aspire to reform education through curriculum and an instruction as a path to a transformative life of truth. I'm happy that I included God in nearly every statement. That's fine. Okay. So then other sections would be so this is like the about plan A plus, I guess you could say. Then the next one would be about me, the service provider. So I'm keeping it this way just because I want this to be like a template for future people who end up joining, who want to help in whatever way. But it'll say why Precious for me chose plan A plus, and I'm saying in parentheses that it'll be in a storytelling resume because, like, as much as I want to write it as a story, I know that from watching another person's video, I know that writing it in story form is just, it's making it a hard time for those who are just trying to get an idea. So I would put in bold or in some sort of fun font things that were what you would see on a resume as bullet points. It would be in a fun font, but it would be inserted in a storytelling essay sort of thing. Not too long, maybe like a paragraph or something, but you know, yeah. Then orders and procedures, it would say, again, this is about, and maybe I'll rearrange that this, why, chose plan A plus. Maybe it'll be towards the back because this is now plan A plus related. This is now plan A plus related. I don't know. I really don't know. It's kind of, it doesn't matter. Maybe this will be on the back of the binder. Boom! I figured it out. High five. High five, everyone. Okay. So yeah. Or just let me just move this so that I know that now instead of later. Might forget.
Miss me?
Tell that to YouTube, bro.
Huh?
I told you I'm recording. Okay, so that's something. I'll put back of binder. Maybe that, maybe contacts too. Contacts. Maybe even other projects. Because it's a freelance, remember? And sponsors. Because maybe I'm gonna get sponsors. Woo! So yeah. let me just do that. Okay. That, I like it a little bit better. Okay. So, orders and procedures, that is more of giving the client an idea of what I do with everyone. First, it would be, and I'm kind of just winging it right now as I'm talking because I've never written this part down, but it's pretty natural. It would be, and it's so funny because I learned that I kind of don't have an off switch for, working because what I'm doing comes from my heart that I care for people. So even while I was at my relative's house, I was observing, I was thinking, I was finding ways to get to know the people. Again, because being away from my family on my dad's side, it's like I've had to learn how they are again. They've kind of had to learn how I am again. So it was almost like meeting people for the first time. Not totally. We still had some parts to pick up from, but yeah, I look at my family because I care about them. And in a sense, I was also doing some analysis. So it would be pretty natural. Get to know the family, then share my assessment, share my notes, although they are mental notes. Maybe make a chart, show them on a chart. What kind of chart at this point? We don't use that chart yet. Because personally, remember, if I'm the one giving an assessment, but I don't have the expertise according to this chart, it's not going to be an accurate chart. It'll just be pretty phony. So we're probably not going to use the chart that I wish to use for education. But we'll have some sort of evaluation, just a pre-evaluation sort of thing. And depending on the age of the child, they will be involved in that process. But if they're young, I don't want it to be so, not obvious what I'm doing, but I want them to be natural and our relationship to be authentic. That's something that I really value in what I do. So that, anyways, that'll all be part of the plan. And then even like a post, whatever it's called. I don't remember what I'm talking about. So, then we have course of action, which are the options that they can use to execute their plan A in their life. I took it off, honestly. I did have it up there, but then I took it off because my mom was like, people are going to copy your ideas, but honestly, guys, if you're going to copy my ideas, I think it's a great idea. Because you're providing service to the world. So you know what? Oh my gosh, spur of the moment. This is how I am, y'all. Paste. And this was all supposed to be tabbed. I hope this works. Boom! I'm good at computers. Haha. So yeah. It would be teaching, where I would write and teach creative, unique, flexible lesson plans, which I still haven't made mock-ups for. I'm sorry. That's what I need to put in here. Oh, I'm so glad I did this. But I guess that would be part of this tab. Okay. Then there would be productive play, which would be limited services. I said that because I'm not going to be playing with 14-year-old, So that would be, if anything, it's a subgroup of mentoring and it's a subgroup of teaching. So because it's kind of so blended, I wanted to make it its own thing. But it would work for young children. It would work for children of special needs. But it's also, I guess, I don't know. Because it's what I do in assessment, really. I'll give an example of how I was with my family, getting to know how they are. So I was at my uncle's house, and he has his 3 sons, and another cousin was there who was just sleeping over because they're all boys. So the youngest one, I was just kind of following him around. He was playing the drums, then he was on the computer. I also looked at his desk. I was a snoop. Then with the next oldest one, the middle child, I was just asking him some questions. It was easier to have conversation with him, just because there's nothing much. I did also observe that he was doing video games, but it was mainly conversations based. But I wasn't trying to ask things like in such a formative way. Then again, with the oldest one, and I did the same thing, by the way, because with the one who was sleeping over, because they're the same age, and they were doing the same thing. And then with the oldest one, this one is very, and it varies. It really does vary based on personalities, but with age, people have a sort of matured personality that you have to work around, and every personality is different. With this older cousin, I didn't talk too much. It was just listening and seeing, observing how he interacts with other people. So maybe I would just be around a place where this person is comfortable, in a setting that they're already somewhat natural in, and he's natural being around a family. So, or at least somewhat, to a certain extent. So that was how I observed, but that's an example of productive play, and it's also an example of mentoring, but it's all just observation. And then trying to plug in things at the same time. Even with my family in Maryland, teaching responsibility, teaching, sharing, teaching communication. I could do that with this group of a 10-year-old, 6-year-old, 5-year-old, 4-year-old, and it is through them playing with blocks. Or it could be us watching TV, and we're talking about taking turns. We're talking about, oh, we're building something. How are we going to do that? So, or if one person's the architect, which one of them really is, he loves building, and he has a really creative design mindset. I would always communicate with him. I'd say, hey, so how are you going to communicate that to her or your little brother? So it would be something like that. So that covers those. Tutoring is helping, obviously, with their homework. It would also be with test prep. I'm going to actually add that here because they're the same idea of teaching an already set standard or whatever test prep. Okay. Oh my gosh, that didn't do anything. I was trying to make it capital. Okay. Tutoring and test prep. Okay. And then the last one is discipling, which is really like all of these, but kind of like wrapped up into one. And it always involves the Bible. It will always be present. Although as Christians, we should have the Bible in our heart. We should have God's law in our heart. We should have the gospel in our heart. We should always have that with us. And it should be able to bleed into all those things. But with discipling, it is more overt. And it is a great way to show people who don't really understand the Bible, don't know what it means, to see how it's used in a very obvious way. So there's that. And then we have the contract and other legal documents such as I-9. And I had to put that there because apparently that's a very important document for people who hire you. This is my outline for the inside of the binder. For the back of the binder, we could have, information about me, which is this, maybe even my contacts at the bottom of that page, and then contacts of other projects, and then sponsors will also be another page, but in the back. So, that is my portfolio outline. I still need to include samples. People are saying put photos. People are saying put, sample lesson plans, obviously. This one obviously needs a schedule, but you need to put sample assessments, just things that they know that you're not just having fun. Not that having fun's bad, but you're not just screwing with them and saying, yeah, I'm providing a service, but you're really just doing nothing. So, yeah, that's what I do. That's where I'm at with my Plan A portfolio. I do love this little flower that I have of pecans, and I hope it's not too crazy if I use that for like my website design, but I really just might do that, so don't be surprised. Not with the A+. The A+ would definitely just be for the Plan A+ education service. But for other stuff, like maybe my other projects, I don't know. I just really love the colors. I just wanted to share that. Well, this ended up being much longer than I thought. I guess because I ramble and I can't help myself. But yeah, that's where I'm at. And if I end up limiting um, my audience to a Christian audience, more power to the kingdom. Woohoo! You know? So, if you got to this end of the video, thank you for watching. I hope that anything that I've shared will encourage you to infuse Christ into your ventures and in your work that you do even currently, because it's all about building the kingdom and it's all about God. We're vessels, you know, holding something of such value. Take that to heart, you guys. That is such a amazing thing. Okay, so thanks for watching. Sorry it was so long. Have a good day, good night, whatever. I know it's nighttime when I'm gonna post this. Goodbye.